All right, you guys, happy Friday. Welcome to another Deal Friday story. This is number 20. So, happy Friday, you guys. I'm going to wait until you guys get on. For those of you who are new to the channel, I'm doing a deal story every single Friday. Join me live 10 a.m. Pacific Standard, where I will share with you guys a deal that we closed in the past or a deal that we recently closed, and I'll share with you how we found the seller, how much we got it for, how long it took us to find the buyers, and how much we made on it. All right, you guys. Jin, what up? What up, sir? Happy Friday. Anybody's on? You guys smash those thumbs up for me. I'm just going to try and move this back a little bit. See if we can get a little bit better view here. William, what up? Happy Friday. What's up? Watching and looking for leads. Nice, man. So anyways, you guys, I'm going to share you guys on today, Friday story, how we got this deal from a postcard and make 30,000 from it. It took us about, I think about almost, 12 days, 12 or 15 days closing on it. So, but before I get into it, I want to give you guys some shout out. Jacob, what up? Happy Friday. Candace, Bogan, happy Friday. Do you know anything about wholesaling owner finance deal or anyone? Jacob, I do. I have done a couple of them in the past. I just don't do it anymore. I just like my deal nice and clean, come in, close it with cash, and I'm out of the picture once it's closed. But anyways, you guys, also too is I want to let you guys know, Joe Dirt, what up? Happy Friday. Lone Star Crypto. Are you into cryptocurrency? Happy Friday. Hold on a second. Francisco Rodriguez, yo. Happy Friday. Sean Johnston, happy Friday. So anyways, you guys, also too is I'm going to have a powerhouse interview coming up pretty soon. Man, I don't know who told me to reach out to this guy, but hold on a second. I don't know who told me to reach out to this guy, but man, it took me, let me see here. It took me, I asked him, I reached out to him in March 22nd, every single day. Happy Monday, happy Tuesday, happy Wednesday. He finally replied last night. So we are going to set up a time to interview with him. He's a very young guy. I think he's in his like early 20 or something. And when he first started wholesaling, he did his first six-figure in the first like 6 or 7 months. So pretty extraordinary. Sammy, happy Friday. What up? What's your opinion on Facebook ads to generate leads? I actually heard some really good, good stuff about people getting results from Facebook ad. Now, all I know is whatever it is that you are targeting, to get to me personally, we haven't done any, we haven't done a whole lot of Facebook ad. We put maybe, maybe 100 or two bucks a month just to kind of put our name out there. But we haven't got any, we haven't got any leads from Facebook ad yet. I think it has to be more consistent. But we're kind of off and on with it. We're not consistent with it. I think any marketing you're doing, you have to be consistent with it to actually see results. My personal opinion. Brian, what up? Happy Friday. Musla, happy Friday. Peace Green, happy Friday. Vic, VICG, happy Friday. San Nicholas, what up? Happy Friday. Jaw Thread Store, happy Friday. Don't go commercial. Yeah, I don't do commercial. Single family home, straight up, duplex, fourplex, apartment, but I don't do any storefront wholesale. David Thompson, happy Friday. Franco J, happy Friday. Jack 10, what up? Happy Friday. You guys, come on, don't be shy. Smash those thumbs up for me. Also too is you guys, thank you so much for all the support. Thank you so much for, taking the time and tuning in. I hope I can add some value to you guys. Man, as I was, I got a couple comments that I gotta read, if you guys don't mind. This man, I mean, this just touches me when this is coming from James when we did the role play. He said, Khang, the script itself is awesome. My wife, for the first time, read your script and said that she can handle it. That there's blessing in itself. Thanks, Khang. She has been a bit hesitant to help with the business. She nodded and said she would answer calls. Quickly got her sign in to call around and add her to it. Hopes to stay with it. I'm hoping to get onto your show. I'm showing juggling family jobs and 2 business. But this is like the one feeling the blessed and pumped. James, dude, thank you so much for that email, man. That email really got me like, you know, these are the kind of emails, the kind of comments that you guys are sending in that really gets me excited and really gets me pumped and letting me know that what I'm doing, there is a purpose to it. And also too is I getting you guys this comment on the script deal that I'm selling. And the thing is, you guys, you know, when I first started, and the reason why I put this out there too, you know, I didn't really want to put out there. I really started the channel just to really build up audience and meeting friends and having friends, you know, virtually. So, and then I just love sharing, what I know, but I never thought about putting products and stuff out there. And I got one of your guys' comments saying, Khang, you know, I hope you're not one of those guys trying to sell products, etc. So, you know, so when I put this, product out here, because I have so many of you guys ask, and to me, I truly believe, and this is for those of you who were just like me when I first started, is that I needed, I was searching for a program or a mentor or somebody that, and I was having a tough time finding people that would put me on a live call with seller, right? They would 3-way me in so I can listen into them because their time, because they don't want to do it, whatever it is, right? Because the majority of them are teaching and selling, but they're not doing it. So when I tell them, hey, you know what? I want to be on a live call. I want to listen in to what the seller's saying, how they say it, how you answer the questions, because I feel like, to me, that's where I'm going to learn the most, and that's how I'm going to be good at it to take you under contract over the phone. But majority of them just wouldn't do it, right? A majority of just wouldn't do it, and that's what I was missing. So when I put this out there, is for those of you who were just like me, who was searching for a script, for something that you can talk to seller. Now, if you do your marketing, now listen up. If you do your marketing and you get calls coming in, I did not know this when I first started, okay? And when you get calls coming in and you're not being able to convert these leads into deals, you can get a boatload of car coming in, but if you cannot convert these leads into deals, you got to look at yourself. There is a problem. There's a problem. I went through 6 months sending out. We spent about $1,000 a month, $6,000. I was sending out and I was getting tons of calls coming in, but I cannot convert any of these leads into deals. Looking back now, I thought it was, oh yeah, the seller's not motivated. They're not motivated to sell. I was wrong. It was because I didn't know how to talk to them. And you guys, to me, that is so important. And now being able to talk to them like I am now, there are sellers that were just calling in because they want an offer, or they somewhat gotta be they gotta be somewhat interested in selling, and they have to be somewhat reasonable. Okay, they have to be somewhat reasonable. They can't just call in and say, "Oh, my property's worth $100,000. I want $200,000." There's no way that you're gonna spend your time to convert those people. But if they called in, if they are reasonable and saying, "Hey, you know what? I'm interested in selling my property, but I want to get a fair price." Right? I'm not looking to give it away. I'm looking to get a fair price. If they say, they calling it, they know that when they called into you, that they are dealing with an investor. An investor typically buy it at a discount. But if you can talk to them, I promise you, you're able to convert more of these leads into deals. The percentage is going to be a lot higher. All right? If you talk to about 50 people, and if you've only got one deal, man, you got to work on your script and know how to talk to seller even better. Because typically now, if I get 10 seller that calls in that's saying, "Hey, I'm interested," out of those 10, I should be able to convert those at least 2 or 3 of them into deals. At least 2 of them that I know. 10 calls in saying I'm interested, I should be able to take 2 of them out of the 10, 2 of them, and turn them into a deal. But anyways, you guys, Darren, happy Friday. Candace, Sean Johnson. I'm saying don't take your info to the commercial market. Okay. Free info is appreciated. How's your guys' day going? And you guys also too is if you guys could join me tomorrow, Friday, we do a deal or no deal. It's a deal or no deal story. Or I'm sorry, it's a deal or no deal tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard. So if you have any deals that you're working on, or you have any deals that kind of in the pipeline, you can lock it up or whatever. And if you're okay with sharing it, I'm gonna go ahead and help you analyze the deal live. So you got to give me all the numbers, and I'll take your deals and analyze it live with you, so that way you know it's a deal or no deal, or what you need to offer to the seller. All right. Aki, man, what up, brother? Happy Friday. Darren, happy Friday. Angel Lopez, what up? Happy Friday. What happened if there is no comps around the house? What would be the best thing to do? Angel, if there's no comps, now, first you got to start narrow. So it's going to be half a mile, then you got to go a mile, then you got to go 2 miles, then you got to go further. But the further out you go and there's no comps, it just means that area is probably not where you want it to be. Now, it's not that it's going to be a little bit tougher to wholesale because maybe not a lot of people are buying in that area, or maybe the property just so different from all the other one, and that could be a problem too. But what I would do is, if you just couldn't find comps by going further and further out, then what you want to do is call some realtor in that area and go ahead and ask them and see if they can help you find comps. All right, so you just need to tell them, hey, you know what, we're looking to buy some property in the area. We're looking to buy, this kind of area. What do you think that property would go for in that area? And they would let you know. Angel, I hope that helps. Let me know if that helps or not. You guys, come on, smash those thumbs up for me. Mr. Hall, hey Khang, 20-year-old, closing my first deal in my first 20 days of wholesaling. Bro, are you kidding me? Dang, man. Looking to make a $3,900 profit. I split closing costs with buyer. Dude, that is awesome. So, Mr. Hall, when you close that deal, comment on one of my most recent, or just drop me an email, or comment on one of my most recent video. And what we're going to do is we're going to try to get you onto the show to share your story. Dude, that's awesome, man. At 20, dude. See, the thing is, when I was in my 19 or 20, I wasn't exposed to stuff like this, right? I was a hardworking guy, but I wasn't exposed to this. So my awareness was very limited. So for you guys who are exposed to business, whether it's selling on Amazon, real estates, drop shipping, eBay, whatever it is, right? But if you are exposed to that, man, take the opportunity, start your own business, and start your own little side. And then once your little side job, or once your little side business picks up, then you can let go of your full-time job. But I wasn't aware of that. I didn't have any awareness, no knowledge, nothing. It was just face down, put my head down, go to a job 9 to 5, come back home. I did that for 8 years. Looking back, that was 8 years. Oh man, see, so I wish I would have known real estate a lot sooner, but everything happens for a reason. Brian, how much does the title company charge at closing? It doesn't really matter, because either the seller or the buyer is going to pay for it. But you're talking about closing costs, seller closing costs in my area, typically about 3%. I'm not sure about your area. But anyways, you guys, let's get into the Friday deal story. So, Marcus, happy Friday. So this deal here came from one of our postcard that we sent out, and the seller calls in, and the reason why she was selling, because the property has been vandalized and been vacant for about 6 months. So she and her husband, or her ex-husband was living in the property, and he was threatening her, calling the cops, was threatening her that she cannot go inside the house. And when he left, he destroyed the property. I do have some picture, but I would have to pull it up. But when he left, he destroyed the property. The property sits there vacant for 6 months. And on the phone, she said that her ex-husband told her if she were to come by the property or try to get in, that he was going to do more damage to the property, and he doesn't want her on the property. I don't know why. So when she calls in, so we kind of go through the whole thing. We gather information from the property. At the time, she was asking, she wanted I think she wanted about $320,000. She wanted $320,000, and she told us exactly what this property is going to need. She said, Khang, it's going to need a lot of work. It's going to need pretty much everything, because she said that my renter, when they left, they destroy it. I just don't have the time or the energy or the money to fix the property up. So I'm looking for a quick, hassle-free sale with you guys. And so when she calls in, that was her motivation to sell the property. And now, she doesn't want to continue paying the mortgage on the property, etc. And she can't go to the property because she's being threatened by her ex-husband, and she's scared. All right. Now, so she wanted $320 when we were going through her, and then she dropped her price down to about $310. At that time, we didn't make an offer on the first phone call. We made an offer on the second phone call, and we came in about $250. Okay, we came in about $250. She said, no, Khang, that's way too low. The property fixed up, you guys, after we did our comps, was going to worth about between probably in that $475. All right, $475 to $490. So we made an offer of $250. Figure that it's going to probably need about $50,000 or so in work. It's a duplex. All right, it's a duplex, and it brings in about, if it's all nicely fixed up, 3-bedroom, 2-bath per side. In that area, it could probably get about I would say roughly about $1,500 or $1,600 in rent per side. So the second call, we make her an offer, and she didn't accept it. She came down to about $310 or so. So anyway, so we kind of part way. And then I call her back and then I set a follow up and call her back about 2 days later just to check up on our offer. She said, well, Khang, it is a little bit low. I wanted to sell it, but I don't want to give it away. Right? She said, I wanted to sell it, but I don't want to give it away. I have a couple realtor that's going to come by and look at the property and going to give me, kind of what I can get for it, etc. And, I said, then I go ahead and ask her, where does she need to be in price for us to make it work? And at the time, she said, I think I can do like 305. We came up to about 260. And she said, I gotta talk to my son-in-law. He knows a little bit. He knows more about this kind of stuff than I do, and maybe he can give me his opinion. So, since we're so far apart in price, I didn't just want to keep pushing. So I said, okay, no problem. When will we expect to get a call back from you regarding, kind of where you want to be? We want to know if it's something that we can work or something we can put more time, into it to see if we can work, or we're just too far apart. And she said, let me talk to my son-in-law, Khang, and I'll get back to you guys and let you guys know within the next day or so. Within the next day or so, I have heard nothing from her. So I call her back now. And then after the 2-day follow-up, I call her back like so I waited for another 3 days or so. I follow up with another text message, and I said, hey, Cynthia, how's everything going? Kind of want to see where you guys are at, and have you had a chance to talk to your son-in-law? And then she texted back. She said, yeah, he said that your guys' price is way too off. So I called her the next day, got her on the phone, and then I chatted with her, and we came into an agreement at $290,000. We came to an agreement of $290,000 on the phone. All right, I went from 260 up to 290. She went from 305 down to 290. So we met at 290. I asked her how soon she wants to close. She said, I'm not in a rush. So we set the closing date on her for, I think we set the closing date for 60 days out, because she's not in a rush to sell. So you want as much time as possible to be able to find that buyer to sell the property. So when the seller tells me they're not in a rush, perfect. I'll set it 60 days out closing. And then, and the one thing I forgot to tell, that I got to share with you guys in some of my Deal Friday story, is that we put $500 earnest money. Now I could have put $1. I could have put in there $1, $100, $20, $50. You could put any amount you want for an earnest money. You know, but typically right now we put $500 as our earnest money. And on the phone, she said, well, Khang, you send it over, and I want my son to review it, you know, and I asked her, well, how many days do you need to review the agreement? She said, I needed about 2 weeks. I said, you know, that's way too long. You know, we want to make a commitment with you. That's just way too long for us to wait on it. I said, could you get it back to us sooner? She said, probably a week. I said, could you do it in 3 days or so? You want to get them to get it back to you as quickly as possible. And I said, hey, you know what? Our company, you know, we typically put out our offer and we want it to be good for about 3 days. That's kind of our commitment when we put out our offer. So anyway, I got it back like within the next day. She said my son-in-law want to review it, my attorney want to review it, and like I was telling you guys, it's all about reassuring and giving them that trust over the phone before you send it out. Before I send it out, I even also too is type it in an email, but before I send it out, I tell them whatever we talked about, whatever we agreed upon, that's exactly what's going to happen. Our title company is going to be the third party. They're going to make sure you're protected as a seller, you getting the money you agreed upon, and us as a buyer that we are, you know, that we are protected as well, that we're getting a clear title to the property. And you know, so you basically want to reassure them. Give them the peace of mind that everything is going to be done like it is, right? Don't just send it out and don't say anything, thanks a lot, and send it out. They will review it, you know. So basically what it is you just want them to go ahead and you don't want them to bring to attorney, bring to another realtor or whatever it is, because it's just drag it out. Everybody has so much opinion, right? I did a deal with one of the seller. He brought it to two of his realtor friend, and two of his realtor friend was really going line by line and picking everything out, and it's just ridiculous. So you want to reassure them, give them that peace of mind before you send it out. All you do is type it, put it in an email, and send it to them. All right, so that way you can reassure, giving them that, letting them know that everything will be done as agreed upon. All right. So, anyways, she did tell me that she wants me to get on the phone with her son-in-law because he kind of wanted to know a little bit about the process, how everything is going to work. So I explained to him what the process is, how everything is going to work, and pretty much right after I got off the phone with him, he said they signed it and got it back to me the next day. Okay, and right when we got it under contract, we sent it out right away. Don't worry about, so we sent the agreement, we send the contract into the title company. We tell the title company, go ahead and email over a wire instruction. I do it like I don't go anymore. I just do it all. You can do it all straight from your laptop, from your iPhone, from your desktop. You don't need to go anywhere. So the title company will email me over a wire instruction for me to wire in my earnest money. And then all I do is I just go ahead and forward that email, or I tell them to fax in the wire instruction to my bank. And I just tell my bank, hey, there's a wire instruction coming over from the title company. Would you send this amount out? And that's pretty much it. So basically, and then all it is sent out. We send it out to our buyer at, I think we sent it out to our buyer at 335. So initially I wanted to make, so 290 plus 335 minus 290. So initially I wanted to make about 40,000 on this deal. All right. 45,000 on this deal when we send it out. That's how much we want to make. And on this deal here, I told the seller that you are going to be paying for all your closing costs, and us as a buyer, we're paying for all our closing costs. Is that okay? So they agree with the 290 price, and I just don't want to leave any piece out here. So that we agreed to the 290 price. Typically, I said, hey, you know what? We as a buyer will pay for all your closing costs, etc. In this case, she initially said that she said, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it, and she's more worried about the sell price, right? So I pretty much just tell her, okay, no problem. We agree to 290. You pay for your seller closing costs, and us as a buyer, we pay for our buyer closing costs. And she agreed to it. It's fair. Within after we signed the agreement, we sent it in. She texted me about 2 days later and said, hey, Khang, do you know roughly what the seller closing cost would be? And I said, and I'd let her know roughly it's going to cost her about 3%, and she was okay with that. So roughly it's going to cost her about $12,000, 12,000 or so, 290 plus 3%. I'm sorry, about 8,000. She thought it was going to be, she thought it was going to cost her 12,000. That's what she texts over, but I told her it's only 3%, so roughly about 8 to 9,000, and she was happy with that. So we sent it out to a buyer. I got all of my buyers to do the drive-by. And also too, so I want to let you guys know, we recently got another team member on to our team. She started about a month or so ago. Before that, we actually have someone else that does it. So she goes out right now. Anything we tied up, we set up a time with the seller, get her to go out there, take pictures of the property, take picture of the property, and she also does showing for us between buyers and seller as well. She charges about $50 to go out there, take picture. Anything within 1 hour or less of her driving is $50. So she goes out there, spend about an hour at the property, takes pictures, and then bring it back, and then she charged about $100 to analyze it. So the weird thing is, so basically it's a husband and wife. They actually bought, they're investor as well. They bought property from us, but they're kind of like, buying 1 or 2 a year. They don't have a whole lot of capitals to do a bunch. So she wants to make a little extra money on the side, and because we talked and we had a little bond going, and she wanted to see if she was able to be adding any kind of value to our business if we need any help. And she knows all the rehab number, etc. So she charged about $50 to take pictures and $100 to kind of put everything together for me, as far as breaking everything down. What the rehab cost is for, the kitchen, whatever she sees, and she will break it down. If you keep it as a rental, what it's going to cost. If you're going to flip it, what's going to cost, etc. So we set it up. We set up the appointment. She went out there, met up with the seller. She came out there, and we let her know. That we let the seller know that, hey, one of our team members is going to go out there, and her job is just to take picture of the property so we can go, so she can bring it back to us, so we can review it. All right, that's her job. So she went out there, took picture, came back, and the estimator of the repair was going to come in about 60,000 or so. With her estimation, 60,000 or so. Now I have other buyers that actually drove by the property. We sent it out, and the feedback that we got from our buyer was that the property is going to need too much work for them to make sense, because they are looking to flip the property, but also too is they taking their hard money or private money into consideration, and also too is that they got to take into consideration where they sub people out. Now I want to really share this with you guys. That's why I'm telling you guys, sometimes the price is one thing, but also too sometimes is being able to find that right buyer for that particular property. So within a couple of days or so, that's the kind of feedback that we got. It was the price was too high, and they just couldn't make it work. Okay, the price was too high, they couldn't make it work, because some of these buyers has to get private money or hard money, or a lot of times when they they sub these they sub out the job. So it's going to cost them more than with someone or have a crew in place. If they have a team in place, they pay these guys less because they're on wages, right? So when you sub people out, it costs a little bit more when you have a team, right? So anyways, so at the time, that's kind of all of my strong buyer in that area. That's kind of what the feedback is. But I sent it out to this one agent, and I was asking her that if she was if she's interested, or if she has anybody. I talked to her prior about 6 months ago, and she said that she said that she works in the area. She's an agent, she's an investor, and she also has some cash buyer. I sent it out to her, and she had her contractor drove by the property. I guess somehow, I don't know how she got into the property, or if she even went into the property. I don't know what it was, but she was afraid. It's all about a fear of loss. So she calls back and said, "Hey, Khang, my contractor walked the property. He took a look of everything, and we're pretty much ready to go, right? We're pretty much ready to go." And she said, "But we got to be at 320." All right. So I went ahead, and so she went and she said, "Well, you know what? We're ready to go, but I got to be at about 320. Can you make that work?" So instead of negotiating back and forth with her, I just went, "No problem," because she said, "We don't need another walkthrough." And that's the biggest thing. She said, "We're ready to go. We can close on this thing within the next 12 to 15 days. We don't need another inspections, or we don't need to walk through the property, but we need to be at 320. So I said, okay, well, let me check with my partners and I'll get back to you. And then that's pretty much it. We sent out the agreement with her and get her to put $15,000 non-refundable. All right, you guys. Typically, I always like to get a large amount of non-refundable. So so I told her it's going to be $15,000 non-refundable deposit the next day, and she was okay with it. And the reason why this number works for her, so she's going to end up making about, I think, $50,000 on the deal. And a lot of my other, okay, you guys got to understand too, a lot of time when it comes to ARV, you know, some people might have a little bit of different opinion on ARV as well. I'm sorry, other buyer come back to me and they estimated that the ARV was going to be about 450 or so. She agreed that the property it's going to worth about 475 after she talked to, you know, she's a realtor herself and she knows the area, so that's her, right? So that's her opinion. She agreed it's going to worth about 475. And she has her own little crew that she puts together. And also too, she has her own cash, so she didn't have to worry about finding private or hard money. So she didn't have to figure in that expense as well. And she's pretty much ready to go, pull the trigger on it. So we got her to send in the non-refundable. After they send in the non-refundable, then it's the real deal, you guys. Then it becomes the deal. So anyways, did I leave anything out? And the closing from start to beginning, the day that we got under contract to the day that it's closing, it's actually closed yesterday. I'm gonna go pick up the checks today, and I'll be able to share with you guys tomorrow when I go live. And so roughly about, I would say 20 days or so since the time that we got under contract to the actual closing. But the period from the seller signing it to finding that buyer and putting the non-refundable was between 5 to 7 days. So anyways, you guys, that's pretty much the deal. That's it. Drop me a comment. Let me know. Did I left anything out? Let me see here. I just don't want to miss anything. What was the ARV? I told you the ARV. James, what up, man? What is your response rate for your direct mail campaign letters? You know, on an average, it's about 2 to 3%. 2 to 3% response rate. And it's not just the response rate, James, is one thing, but also too is being able to convert those leads into deals. All right, being able to convert those leads into deals. Because when I first started, I don't know what my response rate is, but I was sending out I was spending $1,000 a month sending out yellow letters, right? So it's equivalent to 1,000 letter a month. But man, I was getting so many calls, and I could not convert any of those leads into deal. And I keep on thinking that the seller's not motivated. The seller's not motivated. I keep on thinking, yeah, you know, I keep on thinking, well, how else would you talk to seller, right? How else would you talk to seller? Because I didn't have that experience of being on the phone, listening to somebody live talking to a seller, or at least listening to some live recording. So I don't know, right? I don't know what's good, what's not. So I don't know. So I thought how I talked to seller was normal. And I was like, you know what? I have sales experience in the mall. I got this, not a problem. But you guys got to understand every niche, every business is a little bit different. How you talk to people, it is a little bit different. But James, James, I was actually just reading your email. Dude, thank you so much for that email. And I think you and your GC, and the thing is, James, 1 + 1, from what I learned, is 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2. 1 + 1 equals 11. It's, I guess it's the harmony of two like-minded people that comes together that makes things exploded. So I think it'll be, you and your wife's going to be a great team. She takes all the incoming calls. She goes through and verify, ask them all the questions needed. She sent over to you. Man, just a team of two. You guys could be able to make 6-figure easily a year. First starting out, and obviously you can leverage. My wife and I, when we first started, we were doing, not first started, but when we start wholesaling, it was just me and my wife taking in a incoming call and doing all that. We were doing 400 to 500 a year. So if we can do it, James, you guys too. Evolution, what up? Happy Friday. Marcus, happy Friday. I need a template of these contract A to B. These are the one that I signed and sent to the title company. Yes, you can find that in my package deal. Evolution, you can find that in our in my package deal. I put all the contract that you need in there, the addendum, the double closing, the assignment agreement, the purchase and sell contract between you and the seller. And you guys got to understand, the purchase and sell contract between you and the seller is going to be different than the purchase contract between you and the end buyer if you're going to do a double closing where you don't want the buyers to know how much you make. You guys, you got to understand that the purchase and sell, don't use the purchase and sell contract between you and the seller to give it to you and the end buyer, because that contract between you and the seller protects you as a buyer and give you a way to back out. So if you're going to use the same thing to your end buyer is going to be protected now, and he or she has the way to back out. But our contract, we make sure that we're protected as a buyer, and it gives us all the way up to the day of closing to back out of the deal if we wanted to. And then when it goes to the buyer, they don't have anything to back out. There's no protections if you use our contract with us and the end buyer. The end buyer, nope, they just, they obviously get the clear title to the property, whatever is agreed upon. But once they made that deposit, they want to back out, they cannot. They'll lose that earnest money, etc. Peace Green, can you make a call now? How about I do that, Mark? I can do that. I'm gonna put up a recording that I just talked to a realtor yesterday, and I told him, hey, this call is gonna be recorded. I told him live. I said this call is gonna be recorded, monitored for training purposes. And then he said, he laughed, and then he said, I don't know, but I guess so. So I'm gonna try to upload that for you guys. It takes it takes editing. I gotta, there's some information that I gotta take out. But Peace Green, I'll be more than happy to make a live call with the realtor tomorrow when we do a Saturday deal or no deal. I can do that, no problem. Mommy Israel vlog, how do you set up screening for seller, and what list should I target right now? I'm not sure what you mean by screening for seller. What list should I target? High equity, out-of-state owner, or even they live in states, as long as they're not occupying it, or even if they're occupying, we send out anybody that has equity in their property. We send them a letter. Patriot 28, happy Friday. Cam in the way, happy Friday. Curry Scott, happy Friday, you guys. If you have any deals that you're working on or currently working on, or you're looking at, or you're evaluating, whatever it is, bring it on to me tomorrow, and we try to get it, and we try to work on it live together on it. Joe Dirt Kong, if you're putting a duplex or a triplex under contract, what type of purchase and sell contract do we use, commercial or single family? There's no different. It's just a straight up purchase and sell contract. And for those of you guys, do not use the word contract when you talk to seller, use the word agreement. Carlos, what up? Happy Friday. Patron 28 Facebook page, brother. I would try. Pop Tax, happy Friday. Hey, what if you stacked lists? I have a software to combine lists, so seller will have multiple level and reason for motivation. It's a software. Okay, let's talk. Sure, no problem. Dakota, happy Friday. Did you purchase seller leads when you started? Did you purchase sellers leads when you started? Dakota, I'm not sure what you're saying. Yes, so I buy the list from ListSource. All right, I buy the list from ListSource, and I also do is I pull up all the expired listing. I tell the agents to send me all the expired listing within the last couple of years, and I'm just sitting here every single night from 9 to 12 to sometime 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, every single day, 7 days a week, and just grinding it. And I was just, I have a, and I handwrite the envelope and send it out to all these expired listing, and I got a lot of deal from it that makes me a lot of money. One of the deal that we made, and we actually bought it as a rental, but the day that I bought and signed to buy it, I probably made about 150,000 on equity. Like it's worth as is. It's worth as is 400, and I signed and bought it for like I'm sorry, it's worth as is in that day was 425, and I signed and bought it, and this comes from expired listing. I bought it at 300, so it's $125,000 spread in perfect condition. The property is worth more like 525. Jacqueline, what up? Happy Friday. BTFD, I don't know what that is. How you guys doing? Any questions? Any more questions, you guys? But if you guys are, if you guys are having trouble talking to seller, if you guys are good with talking to seller, then obviously don't buy it. But if you guys are having trouble talking to seller, now, if you can't talk to seller and get them tied up under contract over the phone without going out there meeting up with them, if you have never done that before, tie the seller up over the phone under contract, virtually over the phone, never have to go out there and meet seller. Man, the things to me is I believe that the reason why people go out and see property, and like I was before too, is meeting up with seller, seeing property. First, first it's like, hey, when I go meet with seller, I can get them lower. They can come out $5,000 or $7,000 or $10,000. But I didn't know how you can lock it up over the phone. All right, I did not know how you can lock it up over the phone. And once you know how to do it and lock sell up over the phone, you would not want to go and spend the time driving out there, meeting with sellers, etc. You could do it all over the phone. And being able to execute it without going out there seeing them. And I think people don't do it because they just don't know how to do it, or they just don't know how to do it. Because if you know how to do it virtually, why would you want to spend the time to go out there and meet seller? What up, Khang? Where's your website? How do I buy your script? Carrie, happy Friday, man. Go to Wholesale to Million. Would someone help me and put in my my website? It's Wholesale to Millions without the S. I was trying to buy the S and someone bought the S. So it's just wholesaletomillion.com. I'm going to try to punch it in right now. See if I can do it. Hold on a second. But any question that I can help you guys? Sorry, I'm trying to punch in for those of you who wants to buy it. Let's go to www.wholesales2millions with no s.com, and you'll be able to buy it. And I told my guy it's straightforward. It's a landing page. I didn't even know what a landing page is. But you're going to go here, you're going to go there, you're going to find something like this, and then you're just going to click buy now. Oh my gosh, it's playing, hold on. And I also want to let you know, that it is a no refund, no exchange. Okay, now when people sell you products, nobody's going to tell you that. I told my guy to put it really big on the site, really big. I tell it on my so I told my guy it's a no refund, no exchange. Put it really big because I want this for those of you who are looking for exactly what I was looking for when I first started out. And I want this to be for those of you who are dedicated, who are committed, and who is ready. Not for those of you who are not iffy about it or not ready. I want this to be for those of you who are committed and who are ready, because you got to understand that this business, when you first started out, especially when you have no money, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be tough. All right, it's not going to be easy, but like I said, just like a marriage, you're going to go through good time and you're going to go through bad time. But if you want to stay together, you are going to do whatever it takes, whatever is required, whatever is necessary of you to make it work. So just like in business, you're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days. You're going to have days where you wanted to quit. You're going to have days where you just want to let go. You're going to have days where you're going to question yourself. Is this something I want to continue doing? because this is just too much and too much stress and too much for me. And that's where you have to dig deep down inside of you guys. That's when you have to dig down inside of you. What is your why? Why do you begin it? Why do you want to start in the first place? And that why is going to continue. It's going to push you to keep on going. And I tell you, the first 6 months when my wife and I first started in this business, it was so stressful, super stressful. We were trying to save in every single little way, we can. You know, we're sleeping in the car because we didn't want to spend money for the hotel to go to a seminars. All right, but so what I'm telling you is, if you're ready and if you are committed, and if you guys have trouble talking to seller, and if you guys never talked to seller and be able to close it over the phone before, man, study the script, learn it, try to learn it, practice it, role play, practice, and start doing some live call with some seller. Use it and see how it is. And in the package, for those of you who's gonna purchase the script, this is what I want to do for you guys. I'm gonna include in there is some of the recording that I role play. With some of the people that prepay for it before I even launch it, that prepay for it, and you will see the difference. You will see the difference on how I say it and how they say it. It's when I first started, like I was sharing with you guys in my last video, when I first started, I was kind of telling them, okay, you know what? They gave me a price. I said, are you flexible? Is there room to move? They said, yeah, there's room to move. And guess what? I spent all the time doing the research, finding out on the property. I called them back. They either, they either sold to somebody else, or they say, well, you know what? I can come off 5,000. I spent all the time, all the energy doing the research on the property to call them back, and they say, oh yeah, you know what? I can come down $2,000 lower, or I can come down $5,000 lower. And also too, it's in the package. You'll be able to get 2 live calls that I did with seller, that all I did was ask them the questions, and all of a sudden the seller will drop her price from $250 all the way down to $180 something. And you guys, it's just not just that one seller, but I do it on multiple seller. And I got this one seller that I was competing with other investor that was able to sign a contract just over the phone, and I never had to meet up with him. I do it all the time, you guys, all the time. It's just when I try to and now I want to make all these calls private. I might, but if you have trouble if you have problem converting, if you get tons of call, and trust me, you get a lot of call coming in, and if you can't convert those leads into deals, you got to check with yourself. You got to check with yourself again, and have people listening to you, and see if they are, how they evaluate the way that you talk to sellers. See if they would sell their property. Talk to your friend, talk to your family, role play with them. If you can't convert the leads, trust me, it's your issue of talking to seller. I keep on thinking because they're not motivated. No, you're wrong. Before that, I have to wait for super motivated to seller, and that's the problem nowadays. Once you know how to talk to them, you'll be able to convert them. You'll be able to convert them. Page 28 won't let you put in a website link. Page 28 I just did. Marcus, you only need a license to sell a property for someone else. You don't need anything but an agreement to sell, right to buy. I'm not sure. Lunch break is over. Later, guys. Lone Star Crypto. Lone Stars, I promise you, once you do your first deal, you start going at it. No more lunch break. You're going to take your own lunch break whenever you want. Philly, or Phil, I'm sorry I call you Philly. Phil, hey man, you got a little bloggy hanging your left nose there. Let me see. Is it gone? Or maybe it's just this. Is it gone now? Well, thanks for pointing it out, you guys. How do you get the buyer not to go around you? Marcus, that's the exact same question. Jen is laughing. That's the same question. That's bad. Okay, thanks a lot for pointing that out, you guys. Marcus, I'm actually, that video, I'm gonna upload because we have another subscriber. We actually have a few of you that ask about that. Look for the video in the next couple days or so. I'm gonna share with you guys exactly how I do it to prevent that issue. But all it comes down to, if the seller truly, really want to go around you and really, truly wants to steal the deal away from you, it is really hard. There's really nothing you can do. Even if you have a NCD contract with them, which is a non-disclosure, compete or whatever it is, where they can't buy that property from you until a year, and they must buy it from you. Man, if they want to go around you, they will try to find a ways to go around you. They can have their friend, they can have someone else, a bird dog, to go to the property, etc. But there are ways where you can prevent the seller and the buyers talking about price and going behind your backs, etc. So look for that video. Son Johnson, April Fools. All right, you guys, thank you so much. I'm going to end it. You guys have a good Friday. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Live. And take care, you guys. Last shout out here. Legion Vlog, happy Friday. Amanda Powers, I can't even pronounce your name. Happy Friday. Take care, you guys. Bye.